Americans wanted independence for a variety of reasons, many of which stemmed from grievances related to political, economic, and social issues. Here are some of the key factors that led to the Revolutionary War. Americans resented British taxation policies, such as the Stamp Act of 1765 and the Townshend Acts of 1767, which imposed taxes on various goods and activities without colonial representation in the British Parliament. The rallying cry of "no taxation without representation" reflected their frustration with being subject to taxes imposed by a government in which they had no voice. British policies imposed restrictions on colonial trade and commerce, including the Navigation Acts, which required colonial goods to be transported on British ships and sold primarily to British markets. These policies limited economic opportunities for the colonists and stifled their ability to trade freely with other countries. The colonists believed that their natural rights as British subjects were being violated by the British government. This included infringements on freedoms such as the right to trial by jury, protection against arbitrary searches and seizures, and the right to assemble and petition the government. The presence of British troops in the colonies, particularly in Boston following the Boston Massacre in 1770, heightened tensions and raised concerns about military occupation and abuses of power. The Quartering Acts required colonial governments to provide housing and supplies for British troops. This further exacerbated colonial resentment. The colonists grew increasingly disillusioned with British governance and perceived a lack of representation, accountability, and responsiveness from British authorities. They sought greater autonomy and self-governance to address their own needs and interests. Over time, the colonists developed a distinct American identity and sense of nationalism separate from their British heritage. They valued principles such as individual liberty, representative government, and local autonomy, which they believed were best served by independence from British rule. These and other grievances were written in the Declaration of Independence in 1776, resulting in the American Revolution as the colonists sought to break away and establish a new nation, founded on principles of freedom, democracy, and self-determination.